It's nearly 3 a.m. on Tuesday, February 18th, and I've just got to my hotel here in Concord, New Hampshire, where I'm back, getting ready to testify for two more very good zoning reform bills in the New Hampshire House Housing Committee later today. One of them is a big, ambitious bill, actually, kind of similar to the one we saw in Montana that sadly failed in the Senate, and it would take the concept basically of strict scrutiny and require a municipality that wants to restrict private property rights through zoning to have to give a written, compelling, reasoned explanation for why that restriction should be in place and how it would further health and safety. So you couldn't have any more of these arbitrary restrictions to aesthetics, anything else like that. They would have to give an actual concrete reason and go on the record. So it's an ambitious bill. There's a little bit of work that needs to be done with the wording that I'm hoping to advise on a little bit when I testify, but it's a good bill. And the other bill, House Bill 457, is a bill that would remove some restrictions on co-living. So at the moment, it's possible for certain cities to introduce limitations on the number of people that can live together who aren't related in a property, and also introduce restrictions on a maximum number of people that can live in a property per bedroom. So it can say only 2 people per bedroom, or one person per bedroom or something. This bill would say that you couldn't have a restriction lower than 2 people per bedroom. So again, this would make it easier for people at the lower end of the housing ladder, people renting, often low-priced properties, in co-living, informal arrangements sometimes, or with multiple roommates, just to be able to afford somewhere to stay, particularly somewhere like New Hampshire, where I am now, where the cost of housing is just going upward and upward because building isn't keeping pace. So there's 2 good bills. On Thursday, there are 2 more bills on the Senate side that I'll also be hopefully meeting and consulting and testifying on. One of them is a parking minimum bill, so getting rid of some of the restrictions, saying if you build so many more units, you have to have extra units of parking, which you don't always want necessarily. The market can decide these things, we believe, and particularly if you're somewhere in an urban centre near public transit, you often don't need to have all these extra parking spaces. It's inefficient use of land, it's an infringement on property rights. And the other bill is a single stair bill, again similar to the one we saw in Montana, that says for apartment buildings up to, I believe, 6 stories, then you could have a single staircase. So again, it allows those nice apartment buildings with a smaller footprint like you see everywhere else in the world apart from the United States of America, that makes them too difficult to build for ridiculous, outdated reasons. These days, fire safety regulations are much better, and with small apartment buildings, you don't need those long double-load corridors. So more good pro-property rights bills I'm excited to testify on. I'm going to try and get a few hours sleep now after my long journey from Austin, Texas, and I'll see you on the other side in the morning when I go to testify.